So we're back with another episode of This Is Somewhere, and this time we're in St. Thomas, the beautiful St. Thomas. On this trip, I'm gonna show you the most beautiful beaches that St. Thomas has to offer, but that's not it. We're gonna talk with local historians. We're gonna talk with some key and influential figures here in St. Thomas to get a behind the scenes look at the culture, what it means to be from the Virgin Islands, and kind of dive deeper into the history of this beautiful place. We're gonna go visit some art galleries. We're gonna spend some laughs with a local chef in the kitchen. We're diving into centuries of Caribbean history, meeting the people who preserve it, tasting the island's rich culture one bite at a time. So buckle up, because this is St. Thomas like you've never seen before. First impressions of St. Thomas is it's very green, tons of mountains or hills, if you want to call them, houses on top of these hills. Your driving experience is different than Barbados, right? Different than America, because here you're driving on the left side of the car, but you're driving on the left side of the road. So I know it's Saturday, and I think everybody is at this place called King of the Wing. So it's this huge festival. It's like a chicken wing festival. We're gonna go there. That's what's up next. First day in St. Thomas, let's go. Established in 2010 and held every second Saturday in June, this has become one of the Virgin Islands' biggest cultural gatherings. Over the years, it's transformed from a local wing contest into a community celebration that's built around food, music, and charity. People are killing it with these chicken wing flavors.
We got an Indonesian saute sauce.
Okay.
With a hickory grape barbecue sauce, making a PB&J.
So I did hear I'm supposed to fuck around and find out. Yeah. But am I gonna be like scarred after this?
We're gonna find out.
So jalapeno mixed with pineapple. I'm in on that.
Rum, spiced dirt, coconut rum, coconut flakes makes the fucking run.
And after eating my way around the festival, it was time to really see what it was about.
What's your name?
Derek.
So you're one of the major organizers
I'm
of this
the leader of the organization.
Oh, okay.
We've had big artists. We've had Busta Rhymes, all these wings and stuff that you're buying here.
Yeah.
They go to one organization. It's called Coral Reef.
Okay.
And it's the only school in the Virgin Islands that caters to children with autism. All the profits go to one organization.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So it's like y'all getting a little friendly competition.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I'm Craig. Craig Lou.
And hitting the stage this year was Lupe Fiasco. And one of the best parts about the festival is that it's located steps away from one of the most beautiful beaches in the world, Magens Bay. You can crush wings and then go walk it off in paradise. They just announced the winners, so now what we're about to do is head back to the hotel. I think I'm gonna interview the lady of the place that I'm staying at tonight because she has a very unique story. Let's see what she has to say. And on my way home, I called her and she said she could do the interview tomorrow. So I headed into town to see what I could get into. Okay, so I'm at Indigo Restaurant here in St. Thomas. I'm trying to figure out what there is to do tonight. This is my first night here, and I ran into the lovely Cece at Indigo, and she gave me some options.
Zanzibar.
Okay.
That's 75 feet.
Okay. Zanzibar gets a little lit.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, cool. I appreciate you. Thank you, Cece. And after chatting with Cece, I just sat out and watched the sunset. Then I took it back to the room because we had a busy day the next day. So the next morning I woke up to these beautiful views, and my first priority was try to find breakfast. And a lot of places were closed because it was Father's Day, but I did hear that there was a spot open in Red Hook. Here's an interesting fact. St. Thomas is only 14 miles long and about 4.5 miles wide. Now that's smaller than Aruba, and just like Aruba, you can drive from one side to the other in under an hour. And the Red Hook area sits on the eastern side with beautiful views straight out to St. John. So I pulled up to Hooked because they have really good reviews and they were open. About to dig in, you saw the plate. And after finishing breakfast, I had to talk to the staff.
Hey, my name is George Ruff. I'm one of the owners at Hooked, and it's been an amazing experience. Learning the culture, the people. I just got a little educated on, different perspective with island time. The perspective is stop, look around you, and respect and appreciate the view that you wouldn't otherwise see in other areas of the world.
So I'm standing here with Masai. He works at Hooked.
What beach is my favorite? What are you looking for? You looking for public?
Something
I would
that's
say
not too touristy.
a beach called Coki Point. You can go to Secret Harbor. That's right up the road. The Stairwell Beach.
Okay.
It's out of the way. Very private.
Like, is Sunday the day that I can go out here?
You can go to church.
I go to church, y'all. Go to church.
Go read that damn Bible.
Hey, you heard it from Messiah, like in the Bible. You feel me? Carlos, good to meet you. I'm Craig.
Likewise.
And Carlos told me I need to go to Water Island.
Honeymoon Beach for sure.
Okay, and the food, you said goes
Fish
amazing.
tacos for sure.
All right, so we're gonna go to Water Island, rent a golf cart, Honeymoon Beach, Dingy Bar, and get the fish tacos.
And after I left the Red Hook area, I went back to the hotel Boundless Bliss so that I could interview Susie, who left the States to buy this property to restore it.
She's the owner of Boundless Bliss Hotel. And yesterday she was telling me why this hotel is special.
Boundless Bliss has served St. Thomas for over 70 years. It's a 100-year-old property. It was originally established by the heiress to the Dodge Motor Fortune. It's been owned by just 3 women, and I'm the 3rd female owner.
Yeah.
With Boundless Bliss, we're about preserving and restoring.
So if you're ever in St. Thomas, definitely check out Boundless Bliss. And you're gonna wanna meet Susie, okay?
Pleasure. Thank you so much,
thank
Craig.
you.
Continue straight onto Rumor Drive.
So after chatting with Susie, I headed to the marina to figure out how to get to Water Island by ferry.
A little confusing because there's so many different docks with so many different ferries going to so many different islands. That is where we gotta go. So I'm headed to Water Island and I came to the marina office and I'm talking with Liza and everybody told me to come to Water Island.
You're gonna love it. Go to the beach,
Okay.
go to the beach bar, have a drink, and cool out.
All right, so I got the parking pass and the ferry is gonna come right there.
And the ferry to Water Island is only about $20 round trip and it leaves every hour.
So we just got to Water Island and we're about to go rent a golf cart and go visit some of the beaches.
And shout out to these guys who gave me a ride to the spot because it was a bit of a hike. And renting a golf cart on Water Island is the best way to see the island. You cruise past locals waving from their porches, pass by secret beaches, and if you're lucky, you might spot a chicken or a turtle crossing the road.
The first stop that we're making is Limestone Beach, and it's a little bit of a hike. You have to park on the side of the street, but I heard it's supposed to be pretty beautiful.
There is no sign, there's no crowds, just a narrow trail through trees, a short hike, and it kind of gives a feeling that maybe you're about to stumble onto something you're not supposed to find.
Look at this. What? I got the whole beach to myself? I got the whole beach to myself. Look at this.
And they don't call this place Limestone Beach for no reason. It's covered in millions of limestones. So if you're looking for that soft sand, this is not the place for you. But if you're trying to hold a rock skipping contest, this place is undefeated. So the next stop on Water Island was Fort Sagera.
So before we go to Honeymoon Beach, I had to make an unexpected stop. This is Fort Sagera, but basically this fort was built here on Water Island during World War II to protect the Caribbean islands. But unfortunately, by the time it was done being built, the war was over. I hope that ain't the way inside. That might be. Yeah, we not going inside, y'all. But we're gonna go up to the top though.
And at the top, you can see 360-degree views of Water Island and pretty much most of St. Thomas as well.
Do y'all really want me to go down there? All right, last stop on the island. We're gonna go to Honeymoon Beach. The folks at Hooked told me to stop at this restaurant and get the fish tacos. I heard it has like the nicest sand on Water Island. So let's go. Off the top, you can tell that this is a better beach to come to. The water's blue, the sand is soft. Look at that. You got all the boats docked.
So I arrived at Dingy Bar because it was finally time for these fish tacos.
This is Jessica, and I was told to order the fish tacos. So is that like the fan favorite here?
It is.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'll take an order of the fish tacos.
Yes, sir.
And
we also have ting.
Okay.
Ting is grapefruit soda from Jamaica and a splash of crème. That one is really good.
And after I placed the order, I grabbed this table right by the water.
So now we about to see what they talking about. All right, first bite. Let's go. Golly. Fish tacos, Dingy Bar, 10 out of 10. Absolutely incredible. All right, as you can see, we out of here. That's a wrap on Honeymoon Beach and Dinghy Bar. Now we about to head back to return the golf cart and go to the dock so we can head back to the mainland, St. Thomas. Now we're going back to the Airbnb because we were invited out to this Father's Day party. And I guess I forgot to mention, the reason why I chose St. Thomas for the 3rd episode and St. Croix for the 4th episode is because not too long ago I met Stacey Plaskett, who is the U.S. Congresswoman for the Virgin Islands. And I told her a little bit about what I was doing and how you guys were helping grow this channel. And she invited me down to film the next 2 episodes. So they've been helping me put together some of the things that we're gonna start doing tomorrow and Tuesday. So first up, a walking tour by a historian. Then we have a art gallery opening. And then we are gonna jump in the kitchen and cook some St. Thomas Virgin Island food. All right, so I'm pulling up to Frenchtown. Let's see what Frenchtown is up to with this Father's Day celebration.
And this event dates back to the 1950s with Island Pride on full display.
So they say this gonna be out here until 2 a.m. I gotta go, I gotta early wake up.
So right now, one of the things I'm about to do is go to this legendary food truck called the Chicken Man.
When I was researching for best food in St. Thomas, the Chicken Man was always on the list.
So the reason why I wanted to stay in downtown Charlotte Amalie was because I'm so close to everything, like the attractions, the food, the culture, the museums, and I'm walking to the Chicken Man's truck. I heard it's legendary, so we're about to find out today.
Tucked in the shadows of Frenchtown lives a local legend, the Chicken Man. No storefront, no social media, no flashy signs. He's got no Instagram, no Yelp page, doesn't need one. The scent of jerk chicken, that's his marketing team. And the line of locals waiting late into the night, that's all the promo he'll ever need.
And he was cool about it too. Like we actually off camera, we had like a whole conversation. Amazing guy, was in the Navy, been all over the world. I got my plate, we about to tear this up. I already seen it, I know it's good. All right, let's go. We trying the Chicken Man. So, mac and cheese, rice and peas, that's my sides, jerk chicken. Golly! The bad part about it is I could go walk to him every night.
All right, it's Monday morning in Charlotte Amalie, and today we're about to walk through history. So on my 3rd day in St. Thomas, I linked back up with somebody who's been the heartbeat of this entire experience, Barbara Peterson. She's not just a fixer, she's a connector. Barbara just doesn't show you the island, she introduces you to the people who helped shape it. That day, she brought 2 culture keepers with her, Felipe Ayala, a local historian who knows these streets better than Google Maps, and Anna Monica Villa, a travel and tourism specialist who understands how history lives in the details, the architecture, the food, and even the steps.
Well, welcome. And Barbara said that you're just trying to get feedback. We looked at some of your videos. I love Barbados. My forte is more architecture, flora and fauna. Anna Monica knows that and more with people. And we'll just share with you our town as we walk down the hill. Up here in this particular quarter, the city is built on 3 hills divided by 2 gutters into quarters, which are Danish subdivisions, which is something unique to the Virgin Islands.
The 99 steps?
Oh, that's
the most famous
It's
one?
the most
Oh,
famous,
okay.
but she has the better ones.
Okay.
To connect the quarters, there's step streets that go up and down that were built that people aren't aware of.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
from one part of the city to the next, you go upstairs, you go downstairs, you
Down,
walk,
cut the
you
street
go upstairs, you go downstairs.
Oh, wow.
It's a hidden treasure.
Yeah, I love it.
In St. Croix, the streets were laid out in a grid system by Danish architects, but that didn't work on St. Thomas because it's hilly. So they changed Gata, which is street in Danish, to Strada and created step streets. We have 47 of them.
This view is amazing.
Yeah. That's the hardest thing about St. Thomas is trying to figure out what you want to see every morning.
It does sound like a bad problem to me.
And that's called the Bread Gata Villa. It was the largest house built in 1837. And we use 1837 as the point of reference date because in that year, the Danish king sent Hans Hindelberg to the island to survey the town. And the map is so complete that the Public Works Department still uses it today to navigate the historic district. And every major language can be heard on our streets, including spoken by slaves. As we look at step streets, Charlotte Amalie has 47 step streets, more than any other town in the Caribbean. Like Barbara was saying earlier, you don't really have to walk on the main streets. You just connect these stratas, which are step streets, to free gangs, which are little alleyways, and you can literally walk from the flat areas of Newtown all the way to Crown Princess without ever walking on the main road. And you feel this breeze.
Yeah.
This breeze is the trade winds.
Yeah.
Which blow east to west throughout our town. They come off the ocean. And all the historic houses are built to capture this breeze. So air conditioning is not really necessary. We're facing west looking at Drawn Against Quarter. So that's the second hill. If you were in the harbor and you look back onto the town, we're in one hill. This is Congan. The second hill is Drawn Again. And if you see where that modern pink apartment building is.
That's the third.
That's the third quarter.
So you have the water that's dividing the town, and you have the fire that burned the town,
Yeah.
and it had to be rebuilt. And the fact that it was rebuilt so many times says something about how much wealth was produced here, that you were actually able to rebuild this town.
Our town burned 3 times during the 1800s during a series of very disastrous fires. The first one was 1805. And it was a careless accident. It was a kerosene lantern knocked over in a wooden house. The close proximity of buildings together and the trade winds, which we just felt, picked up the fire and leveled the whole town.
The whole town burned down all from a lantern.
Yeah, the first time.
The first time.
Yeah.
When the emancipation happened, was it just slavery was over, or was there kind of like a rollout, or?
Von Schulten stepped out onto the balcony of Fort Frederick and said, from henceforth, all enslaved in the Danish West Indies are now free, and literally kind of went back inside. I'm trying to keep people on the estates just to work. Yes, you're going to be free, but we kind of have to figure out what we're going to do.
Right.
So you were still basically there on the estate.
Right.
The dynamics between St. Croix and St. Thomas are greatly different, because St. Thomas being a port town, former slaves and also earn enough money as stevedores, as furniture makers, that were able to purchase their own freedom. And as a result of that, St. Thomas has 2 free communities dating back to the 1700s. We have Savan. It was overpopulated. They created East Savan, where freed colored people could build houses, and they were able to earn their freedom due to skilled labor.
So after talking about the emancipation, I headed to the government house, the heart of it all. This building isn't just beautiful, it's the official home of the governor and a symbol of the island's transition from Danish rule to a U.S. territory. Inside, powerful murals, the transfer from Denmark to the U.S., Columbus landing in St. Croix, and the old distilleries of St. John. Each one a visual timeline of colonization, culture, and change.
This is amazing because you have 3 very, very intelligent people talking about a painting and what it means right now.
Absolutely. His hands are bound, but he is not saying, I am doing this, but I'm not happy about it.
And of course I had to sign the guest book because I had to leave my mark. And then something funny happened. I tried squeezing into an old Danish guard tower, and let's just say it's not designed for people built like me.
But now I'm useless. I can't even salute. How do Virgin Islanders see themselves? Do you see yourselves as like Americans, or do you have like your own culture and you're just part of America?
I always believe, and my parents would always tell me, that you take the best of both. All the values you have as a Caribbean citizen, but then you have all the rights and privileges of an American citizen as well. One of the things about the Virgin Islands and growing up here, it didn't really matter who you were, what station of life you were. We're all one people. Black, white, it didn't really matter. You just enjoyed the very best of it. I think that changes when you go to the States and then you see that these things are different for other communities.
So if that's the case, and you know, you're all one identity, you also have the British Virgin Islands.
Yes.
Right? But what Barbara was telling me is that y'all are all family.
Oh yeah,
You're all cousins.
Point taken. My mother's from Tortola.
Okay.
My father's from Vieques and Culebra. So they met in high school in the middle. In the larger Caribbean, a lot of the islands consider the American islands a little different, but we're not. We share the same values, the same feeling of community, and like good morning. It's something. Like, you do not do business in the Virgin Islands without greeting somebody first. In the States, you go to a store or an office and you just start
asking, you just start
talking.
talking.
People will look at you like, no, you speak first and then you start business. And those things make us really special.
Yeah.
And right after the government house, we wandered into a hidden gem, the First Lady's Garden. This is a quiet little escape filled with native trees, tropical flowers, and a few plants I still can't pronounce.
So this is the First Lady's Garden. We have the account of the daughter of the First Lady who designed the First Lady's Garden, that they had moved into the government house and they were looking out the window and they saw this pile of rubble and she was not having it. She designed the First Lady's Garden and she wanted it to be a place where everyone would feel welcome.
Agnes Agatha Schuster King?
Exactly. So if you see, there are only 7 names. So this is a very recent part of our history where we actually have the ability to choose our own governor. 1971, he stepped into office.
Yeah.
So it's not an ancient history of democracy.
The famous 99 steps here in Charlotte Amalie.
And the 99 Steps are one of St. Thomas's most iconic sites, built in the 1700s by the Danes using ballast bricks from old ships. Locals call them gold bricks, not for their worth, but for how many were left behind.
Technically, it's 103 steps.
And next up, we took a walk to Freedom Square, a powerful space where history meets resilience. This is where enslaved Africans were once auctioned, but now it stands as a place of remembrance and honor. Today, it's where the leaders are sworn into office, where locals gather, and where the past is never forgotten. The name says it all, a reminder of how far the Virgin Islands have come and who paid the price for that freedom. And so from Freedom Square, we made our way down to Main Street, also known as the $1 Million Mile. Back in the 80s, this stretch was booming, lined with luxury shops, buzzing with tourists, and known for its duty-free deals on everything from jewelry to leather goods. Even now, it's got that old school charm, cobblestone walkways, historic buildings, and a vibe that tells you St. Thomas has always known how to mix culture with commerce.
You could buy a fur coat on the street, jewelry.
Wait. You said fur coat.
Oh yeah, right there at that store.
But you weren't wearing fur coats.
But
It was like a status thing.
yeah, you could buy one and have it shipped.
I couldn't imagine even putting on another layer. The people who come travel here.
Exactly, to buy all this stuff because it was really free.
I'm seeing a ton of jewelry stores. Is it a cheaper price for the same thing that you might get in the States, or tell me more?
A little bit of both.
Okay.
A little bit of both. A lot of it is based on duty free, where we are one of the top cruise ship ports. Sell a lot of jewelry here. I mean, everybody does a lot of jewelry. And all the luxury brands are here, so you find everything.
And while walking down Main Street, Philippe told me that there was someone I had to meet, a living legend named Zora.
You gotta be Zora.
Okay.
At 92 years old, Zora is still handcrafting leather sandals and goods right here in her shop. No machines, no shortcuts, just decades of skill, patience, and pride stitched into every piece.
The legend Zora.
How are you? Good to meet you.
She makes the handmade sandals. She's been making them forever. How long have you been making sandals?
Forever.
Forever.
She traces your foot on paper.
Oh, wow. To get your size and everything. Thank you. It's nice to meet you.
Okay.
I'll be back, okay?
And after meeting Zora, we stopped by an art gallery of St. Thomas's very own Amma Dennis.
Where are you going?
We're about to take a private tour of an art gallery.
I want you to meet Amma Dennis.
How you doing?
gallerist.
Nice to meet you.
One of the things I love most about Amma's work, and you'll see it throughout the gallery, she represents the very best of the Virgin Islands.
My work is inspired by history, culture, and traditions, and it was the missing element when I used to visit home. Little pieces of home started to fade away. So this is guava berry, and guava berry is our traditional liqueur. I have 11 trees. That's like gold. $25 to $40 a pound. And the elder taught me how to stew the guava berry. That's the stewing. That's the pot there. That's my grandmother iron pot. And before I started to stew them, I said, let me photograph the whole setup. And I had a 10 by 15 foot trailer. That's what I used to display my art.
Wow.
Half of it was my printing, and 8 feet was wall to display the work. And then when people came in who knew me, like Barbara, they start talking about the Demijan name. And they're like, what happened to Granny Demijan? What happened to Mommy Demijan? And the conversation that it inspired is what said, okay, this is what I need to do with my art.
Yeah.
It's like, if I'm going to do this, it has to have meaning. So I said, I continue with the series, and then Barbara told her mother, I said, I want your mother to make gum bread. Barbara's mother, Christmas morning, has been feeding the community free breakfast for almost 30 years.
Wow.
It's a tradition that her mother started, that her children, her grandson, everybody's involved, and all the friends and family are involved. We feed the community Free breakfast. Anybody that shop, you could go in the line 10 times. 800. We might say, okay, you've been there 10 times. Sometimes like 800 people.
Oh, wow.
When she started this off over 30 years ago, she started off with dumb bread and bush tea, which is our traditional breakfast. This is called feed them, because now we'll go to the elders or the stewards of the community. So you go to the elders and say, I'm dropping off my children and coming back. And the elders would take them in and feed them. And so her hands tells the story.
Tells the story.
These are my mother's hands.
Okay.
This is called the gift of freedom.
Oh, wow.
It's symbolic about the story of the three queens. It was 30 years after the emancipation of slavery. It was contract day. And I just could imagine them saying, oh, you had 20 years to figure out how to pay us.
Yeah.
And you haven't figured it out. So they burned down over 50 sugar plantations and half of the town of Frenchtown. And that was their rebelliousness.
Yeah.
So you have to pay us properly for the work.
Yeah.
And so I call it the gift of freedom, to honor the women who have been the forefront of change. This is a representation of the bambula. So bambula is actually the drumming, and it actually was banned.
Why?
Because the Europeans who were here felt a little threatened and afraid and intimidated by the motion and the music, and they think that they're bringing back, they're gonna bring back what they come from in Africa and incite revolt. So they say, you need to quiet that one down.
Stop that.
You need to stop that. We don't want you to get the vibe.
Right.
And so this is called rebellious joy. Peaceful celebration and unity through the dance to rebelliousness.
To rebellious.
Yes, in the same dance.
But like, how did you do? Is this like?
Okay, all right. I'll turn the camera off.
And remember earlier we talked about the Savan, the historic neighborhood where formerly enslaved people and skilled laborers built a strong-rooted community.
These people, all these people you see, lived in this village, and this is Sapa.
Oh wow!
And this is called the original village. So it was actually given to them. Free black people. During the 1700s, 1764 is when it was developed. So congruently with slavery, you had a lot of free black people. Because the people that they brought here weren't just laborers, they had skills. So they brought their freedom with their skills. And so they had so many of them running around, they're like, we don't want you living with us. So they gave them this piece of land. And in that village, they developed everything for themselves. Their own shops, their own entertainment, their own schooling, their own health care. Everything in that community was self-sustaining by free people for free people.
Kind of sounds like Black Wall Street.
Hello.
Yeah.
Exactly. It already existed.
Yeah.
They may not have been wealthy, but they took care of each other.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. Beautiful gallery here in St. Thomas.
Thank you very much.
So after soaking in some local history through art and photography, we headed to lunch, and that's where I met Jackie Dennis, Amma's mother, a powerhouse in her own right. She runs the only women-owned construction company on the island, and her personality is dynamic, full of energy, and unforgettable. And at this table, we talked about food, the island's flavors, and what they had planned for me tomorrow, a full-on food tour. And if lunch was any sign of what was coming, I knew my taste buds were in for a ride.
It tastes like it tastes really good though, but I'm trying to figure out what it tastes like.
Tastes like nothing you know.
Nothing I know.
So we just got through with the tour and learning a lot about the history and the culture of St. Thomas. So now we're about to go to 2 other beaches, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but I think they're equally as beautiful as Magens Bay.
And as I pulled up the Coki Point beach, the first word that hit me was stunning. Crystal clear water, bright colors, music in the air. It's got that perfect mix of energy and peace. Then out of nowhere, a local spotted me, said he's seen me on TikTok. So we sat and talked for a bit, and he broke it down. Koki isn't just beautiful, it's loved. Locals come here to vibe, swim, eat, and just be.
So I'm sitting here with Yam, and it's beautiful, right? Tell me why Koki Beach is different than the other beaches here on the island. Like, why should someone come here?
Everything is out here is local.
Okay.
Local food, local people, local cuisine.
Is this your favorite beach on the island?
Hands down.
Hands down.
Hands
okay.
down.
So after chatting with Yam, I decided to explore the beach myself, and I had no idea what I was walking into. Koki's not just a beach, it's alive. I met vendors selling fresh pineapples, ice cold coconuts, and even handmade art, all while the music played and the waves rolled in.
This is Keith.
Yes, Keith.
Hey, come see him at Coki Beach. Get you a fresh coconut. Okay, we got the mangoes. This is Ashley, and she's serving up the pineapples. So do we have liquor in this one?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely, right? Oh yeah. So what kind of liquor did you put in here?
We used our local Crucian light rum
Okay.
to give them the real local experience.
So I'm standing here with Lucky. He has all this beautiful art right behind me, right here in Coki Beach. So if you're ever in Coki Beach,
come and check me out.
you gotta come check him out. It is amazing stuff he's got going on. And look at his office. I'm about to get everybody in a crazy drone shot for the outro. Wait till the end of the YouTube to check out the outro. It's gonna be nuts. So this is another beach that you cannot miss out on when visiting St. Thomas. It's called Linquist Beach. And it's your beach that's not a typical popular beach. It's off the beaten path. But just check this out. It is absolutely stunning.
Just a short drive from Coki Point is Linquist Beach, and it's like flipping a switch. Quiet, wide open, and way less crowded. This spot is for when you want to slow it all the way down. No music, no vendors, just soft waves, white sand, and peace. If Koki's the party, Linquist is like the exhale. And that evening I headed to Brewer's Bay, one of the best spots on the island to catch a sunset. The colors were unreal and the vibe was calm. Tomorrow was all about food, and after a moment like this, I was ready for whatever flavors came next. So my last full day on the island was all about one thing, food, and we kicked it off in the most unexpected place. Believe it or not, there's a few different Kmarts still on the island, and one of them is supposed to have the best breakfast on the island. Yeah, you heard that right. Tucked inside is a local favorite called Island Cafe, where the breakfast sandwiches are stuff of legend.
So I heard this is the best place to come get breakfast on the island. Is that true?
Yes.
So you heard it from the chef herself. I ordered a Johnny cake sandwich. So it's got egg, ham, and it's gonna be inside of a Johnny cake. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
You too.
First bite, we about to try it. Golly, it keeps getting better and better. The Johnny cake is sweet bread. Look at that. They weren't lying.
And next up on the food tour list was Douchy by the Sea, a local favorite for fried fish, right here at Coki Point Beach. Jackie, Amma's mom, told me to meet her here for lunch. She's one of Douchy's favorite customers, and that comes with perks. See, the fish here sells out quick. Unless you're on that VIP list like Jackie, then somehow it's always hot and ready. I haven't even taken a bite yet, but the way they talk about it, I already know I'm in for something special.
This is Craig.
How you doing? Oh, and Johnny cake.
Yes, more Johnny cakes.
Yes. So this is the famous Douchy by the Sea. How long have you been?
28 years.
28 years. Wow. What's your favorite part about being in Coki Beach versus, you could be on any beach serving this type of food?
Caribbean Sea, the Atlantic Ocean. Fresh Caribbean sea breeze with a lot of people.
So trust you with the rum punch.
Okay, this is it. The levels of alcohol.
Okay.
Punch 'em, wobble, walk straight, walk crooked, walk with me lord, call a taxi, lose control.
Okay, I don't think we need to get to call a taxi just yet. It's a little too early for that. Born in Aruba.
Raised in Angola.
Raised in Anguilla. And now here, 45 years.
And Douchy cooks her fish fresh every morning right here on the beach. So by lunchtime, she's ready to serve the island's finest. And of course, I had to try the rum punch first. And wow.
Oh, wow. This is incredible. You make this too? Oh, goodness gracious.
You won't be spoiled when you leave here.
I know. I'm going to have to come back.
And now to try the fish. And I'm not gonna lie, from the very first bite, I knew this was the best fried fish I had ever had.
Oh, man. Oh, what? This is incredible. Okay, I have to say something on camera, and you're gonna appreciate this. So, when I was in Aruba, that the best fried, you know what I'm gonna say? You already know what I'm gonna say. I thought that the best fried fish I had in the Caribbean was Zerovers. I think I gotta update my list. Douchy by the Sea. Look at this. Man, if you are in St. Thomas, you better come here. If not, your trip is incomplete. You're missing out. Yes, and come early. Oh, wow.
This fish has never seen ice.
Oh, wow. This is such a treat. Let's do she. What's your seasoning mix? She said she's gonna show it to me. This is the secret sauce, the secret recipe.
Secret season. It's all in the season.
I can smell it before my nose even got to it. We can't tell y'all what's in it though.
And after lunch, I got to spend time chatting with Jackie.
So you own the only female-owned construction company on the island? How long have you been in construction?
36 years.
36 years, wow. What got you into construction?
I always had an interest in building things and
The hurricanes kind of come through here every so often. You stay pretty busy. Yeah. And do you see maybe like any type of being treated differently because you're a female in this space, or?
I do get a lot of respect for what I do. I have a depth of experience that surpasses some males in the business.
And after lunch, I got to sit down with Yvonne Laurie. She's one of the owners and one of several grandchildren of the original founders of Coki Point Beach.
And so what I was told is that you're a very important figure here, not only in the Koki Beach community, but in all of St. Thomas.
The territory.
The territory.
Yeah, but I'm just one of several grandchildren that our grandmother deeded this property to.
Okay.
Which her father, Cornelius Burke, was the original holder of the property owner back from Danish times. And he did his will where it had to go on from generation to generation. So our grandmother, Cecilia Birch King, married a king. Our grandfather was from Tortola.
Okay.
She was a white woman, of course, blonde hair, blue eyes, Denmark descent, but married a man blacker than coal from Tortola to give us the melanin and the skin color that we had.
Got it.
So in her wisdom, the ownership and title to the property she gave to us, her grandchildren.
I did not know this was like a big family, run family-owned beach. That is amazing. That's beautiful.
We're the last local family, blacks.
So the last black local family to own beachfront property.
And it isn't because the government haven't been trying and other people haven't been trying to take this property from us, where we know that part was illegally taken from the family, but we fought. When it came time, our one attorney, Mr. Bailey, when he was going to court with my grandmother, he was found executed, bullet to the back of the head in his office with the Coki Point papers there on his door. So it's a lot that have been going on, but it's just that my grandmother knew her grandchildren. She always called us warriors.
Yeah.
And she said if anybody's going to hold on and keep Coki Point in the family, it's her grandchildren. That's why she gave us ownership.
I love that.
She sat us down from the time we were young and explained to us. We're truly blessed, and we know we're blessed.
Yeah.
Coki Point Beach isn't just run by a local family. It's part of their legacy. Some of their past family members are buried right here, just steps from the water. It's a reminder that this beach isn't just a place to visit. It's a place where history, family, and community stay closely tied together.
What I'm realizing is family in the Caribbean isn't just blood.
No.
Right? It's bigger than that.
It's bigger than that.
Thank you. I'm going to give you a hug.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Nice meeting you.
She said I smelled good. That's all I needed to hear. She said I smelled good.
You do smell good.
All right. So right now I'm in Haven Site, which is one of two piers where all the cruise ships dock. You can see there's a cruise ship behind me. But I came here to get some good island cuisine. See that food truck right there? That's Nibs Cuisine. And I think we're gonna eat here. So let's check him out. Let's see what he has in store. Chef Nibbs, right?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
I'm good. I heard this is the place to come and get some of the best island cuisine. Is that true?
This is the place. Come on wrong, let me give you.
Oh, I could come in?
Yeah, you could come in.
Oh, I'm coming.
And Chef Nibbs was the last stop on this food tour, and I couldn't wait to see what he was cooking.
Come on in, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
How y'all doing?
Good.
What's going on?
Makeda.
Makeda, nice to meet you.
My cook. And this is my chef, Harriet.
Hey, Harriet, how are you? Nice to meet you.
And in the heart of Haven Site lies Nibs Cuisine on Wheels, brought to life by local culinary veteran chef Larry Nibbs, who's been serving the island flavors for over 2 decades. His menu is a celebration of Caribbean cooking. Think fresh caught fish, savory sauces, and vibrant spices. He blends gourmet techniques with local soul, whether he's catering weddings, running pop-ups by the dock, or teaching emerging chefs. Today, I'm stepping into his kitchen to taste what happens when tradition meets creativity, and I'm ready for a bite of something truly authentic.
What dish on the menu means the most to you? What's that?
All the dishes.
All the dishes?
That's why it's on the menu. You have to try our pumpkin butter sauce.
Okay. So who taught you how to cook?
Listen, my mom, she's the one I get a passion from her.
Okay.
But guess what? Once you love to eat, you'll always be a good cook.
Yeah.
And while Chef Nibbs was cooking, you could just tell he cooks with passion. The smells inside this truck, they were hitting on all cylinders. Rich, buttery, savory. It was like the food was talking to me before it even hit the plate.
Gotta cook with Frenchtown.
Gotta cook with Frenchtown.
Look at how that's coming together.
We're going to serve it with some rice and some fresh vegetables. Nibs Cuisine on wheel, cooking with a passion.
Come check out Nibs Cuisine, St. Thomas.
Look at that. Most important part is the sauce. Bam! We garnish with a lemon. Now we have the fish.
Yeah.
And after Chef Nibbs plated that snapper perfectly, he wanted me to try his conch and rich butter sauce, and then fungi, a cornmeal-based dish made with okra and full of heart. It's one of those island staples that's simple at first glance, but when it's done right, it's all about texture, timing, and tradition.
Fungi right in the middle. You take the conch all around. Don't forget the tomato. Bam! Fungi and conch and butter sauce.
So we went from this to this, y'all.
So after we were done cooking, it was time to sit down and taste it all. And let me tell you, it was absolutely an incredible experience. The flavors were spot on, but honestly, the real win was getting that behind-the-scenes cooking lesson from Chef Nibbs. It wasn't just about food. It was about the stories, the laughs, and the love that went into every bite.
Cooking with a passion?
Golly. You asked me about meeting again? Absolutely.
My passion is putting out good food and mentoring to the younger generation.
That is so important.
So with the full belly, I realized my time on St. Thomas was winding down. That's when I heard it. The bright bubbling tones of steel drums echoing down the beach. Turns out it was the Rising Stars, a local youth orchestra formed in 1981 by the USVI Superior Court to help youth stay in school and build community through music.
My name is Ajane. I'm a veteran of this band, Rising Star G Steel Orchestra. We're a steel band orchestra that comprises of high school and middle school students from ages 10 and up to 18. That's who we are.
Yeah. And that's just it. St. Thomas doesn't just feed your body, it feeds your soul. From meeting new friends, trying unforgettable island flavors, to learning the roots and the culture firsthand, this wasn't just a trip, it was a connection. And while I hate to leave, I heard there's another Virgin Island calling my name. Next up, St. Croix. But until next time, St. Thomas, thank you for the warmth, the wisdom, and the wings. If this journey moved you even a little, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next island story. See you there.